Whenever you're ready, I'm always ready to go.
Good. Here we are. Dear Richard, so first of all, thanks for being here. And as you know, we finally are launching the cultural transformation tool in Italy. And the first
Great.
thing I would like to know from you is, what makes you happy about it?
Well, I tell you what makes me happy about launching the cultural transformation tools in Italy is that I spend half a year in Italy every year. Well, at least for the last 3 years. We have a house in near Greve in Chianti. And so from April to end of September, um, I'm there in Greve pretending to be an Italian, although I don't speak much Italian, but I do know how to say buongiorno and give me a cup of coffee and whatever. And so my wife and I really enjoy our summers in Italy. So that's good for me. And, I'm open to meeting people in Italy too. And sometimes people who have done our trainings pop down to Greve and Chianti, and I spend a little bit of time with them, have dinner with them, or an afternoon with them. And also, I do 2 workshops twice a year. I do a workshop in Greve and Chianti on moving from well-being to flourishing, living in soul consciousness, and you can find out all about that on the website richardbarrett.net, and I can give you that information later. But so for me personally, that's why I'm happy. For the company, we work in many different countries, and we have our transformation tools in I think over 50 different languages, and we've had it in Italy for some time. We've also done a national values assessment in Italy, so looking at the values of the nations. So there's lots of reasons why it makes me happy that you are spearheading this movement to introduce CTT in Italy.
Mm-hmm. Good. And can you tell me one of these reasons?
Well, I personally, it makes me happy because I live half the year in Italy and I enjoy being with Italians, and so I hope to have more of a local community in Italy where I meet people who have done the trainings and can also pop out and visit with them as well. Secondly, it makes me happy because this is my life's work, and so I really want to see this work spread throughout the world, and particularly in the Mediterranean region. We found it that the CTT has been picked up quite quickly in America, in Anglo-Saxon countries, let me put it that way, and it's been a little bit slower in the countries which are non-English speaking. And so it's important for us to produce our materials in other languages, and we have been doing. And as we do that, then we get more and more interest from those countries.
Okay. You mentioned the fact that somehow, it has been developed in more than 50 languages. And I personally know that it is used in China, in Brazil, in Indonesia, in the US. What is it specific about the cultural transformation tools that makes it so adaptable to any kind of culture, any kind of country?
Well, let me answer that in 2 ways. First of all, the cultural transformation tools as a survey instrument that really gets to the heart of what really matters. And what really matters to people are their values. Our values are the energetic drivers of our aspirations and intentions. And so they are very close. Our values are very close to our heart. And so connecting with your values and having conversations about values is quite exciting for people. And many people never had those values. No, they never even thought about their values. So this is opening up a new way of being for people, a way of being where they can align much more closely who they are with their experience of the world and how they react and respond to the world. So that is, I think, a fundamental reason why this is the CTT is important. The other reason is that when you use these tools in an organization, in a team, any type of organization, in a community, I just did a blog today on values in community. When you use the tools, the results give you a way of starting new conversations that you've never had before about what is important to the people who participated in the survey. So for those two reasons, I think it's fundamentally important. What people have found is that it not only is exciting, but it's also transformative, because when you have a new conversation you haven't had before, it's always transformative. You know, I often joke about this and I say, you know, what is the worst thing that men want to hear from their wives? And they say, and the answer is, darling, we need to talk. It puts fear in the heart of every man, because you know there is a transformational conversation coming up. So starting new conversations that you never had before is scary, but it's also transformative.
Okay. Yeah, so I hear you saying a lot about the fact that it's, you know, enabling conversations around meaning about what really is important.
Exactly.
Now, if you know, we will start to promote this in Italy now, and obviously the natural people that will be interested about these are organizational consultants, coaches, HR managers, and so on and so on. As you know, there are different tools for managing cultural transformation in the world in different fields. What do you think is really making this tool unique, apart from the fact that it goes on values? But is there anything else that you think is unique?
There are really two things that make the cultural transformation unique, and they're both associated with the model against which we measure values. First of all, this model is evolutionary in nature. So as you grow and develop, you move up to different levels of consciousness. There are 7 levels of consciousness in this model, 7 stages of development in this model. And so most cultural tools don't have this evolutionary aspect. What I call it, they measure flatland. They measure how well you're doing this and how well you're doing that, and then they compare that to how well other people are doing that. But there's no evolutionary aspect. There's no developmental aspect to it. So that's the first point. It's developmental in nature, and each time you do a cultural values assessment, either as an individual or as a company, you can measure where you are, and then you improve. You work on it, and 6 months or a year later, you can come back and measure again, and you see the vertical evolution of consciousness right in front of you. That's number one reason why this, one of the reasons why this unique tool is unique. The second thing is it takes a deeper look at who you really are. When you use the model to look at the stages of psychological development, it links to the ego and to the soul. And so you can see how the ego impacts, the values of the ego are in the first 3 stages of development, the first 3 levels of consciousness. And as you move beyond that, and as you individuate, then you move into the growth aspect, which is the aspect of the soul. And the soul really only wants to do 3 things. Wants to fully express your gifts and talents, it wants to connect with other people, and it wants to contribute to the well-being of humanity. And so this ego-soul dynamic is built into the model. You don't have to talk about it, but it's there. And you can, and that's the second thing that makes the model and the tools unique.
Mm-hmm. Okay, personally, like the reasons why I decided to bring this this instrument and this way of working in Italy is that I want to give my small personal contribution to what you call like an evolution path in Italy. Is there any recommendation you would give to any person that would like to participate to this program, both in terms of, you know, why to do it, and also what kind of contribution they could give through your work in our country?
Well, first of all, it's not really my work in your country. It's your work in your country, and I'm just enabling that by providing a model that gives new insights. There are two, again, I keep saying there are two of this and two of that. There are two good reasons why I want to do this training. One, actually, just doing the training is extremely transformative at a personal level. You get a new way of looking at the world, and we have this comment all the time that people just participating in the training find it transformative for themselves, because they have a new way of looking at the world and a new way of looking at themselves. So that's point number one. Point number two is that it gives them a set of tools and skills that allow them to earn an income by going into organizations or working with leaders in coaching or cultural transformation work in organizations, so that they can actually earn an income using this tool. So it's valuable at a personal level, and it's valuable at a professional level.
Okay. Well, Richard, I wanted to have this interview short, so I would like to close it by you telling us something in Italian, because I think it's, we deserve it.
Well, that's a bit of a vain hope, because...
something which is not just asking for a cappuccino.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I have a great relationship with the barista in our local coffee shop. We go there like every other day, and we are greeted, when we come in April, we're greeted like a long lost family. When we leave in September, there's hugs and kisses all around, and we always have a free coffee and a free dolce when we leave, and also when we arrive. And that's one of the reasons that actually I love being in Italy, is the sense of community. Here in the winter, where I live in London, London's a big place, and it's difficult to get a sense of community. But in our little town, market town of Greve, we do have that sense of community, or we feel a sense of community, even if I can't fully converse with people. My wife's much better at Italian than I am. We do have this real sense of community, and frankly, I love that. So I can't give you, I'm just telling you why I enjoy being in Italy. I don't have the words to give you a message in Italian, and I ask for forgiveness.
Okay, I forgive you, Richard. So just as a closure, I just want to tell you, first of all, thank you for this interview. And second, I'll do my best to ask you to even just have small participation when we'll be doing these programs, so that at least people get also an occasion of just, even just chatting with you and having a
Sure. I often come online and have 45 minutes, an hour with the people who are doing the training, so they can ask me any questions that they like about anything, like you've been doing. And I enjoy it, they enjoy it, and I think it enhances the training considerably. So I look forward to doing that with you when your next training starts, I believe, in this beginning of this coming year.
Bene, grazie Richard, a presto.
Grazie.
Ciao.
Ciao.